Okay, so so let's start, and obviously this is a 12-bar blues. So the first thing, as you all know, we can start by finding a pentatonic, and this obviously is in C, the 12-bar blues in C. And the first thing I can do is just to find that C minor pentatonic, and try to just to use that. And with my ears, this would be step one. But using my ears, I'm going to try and to find some notes that work best, even though there are some substitutions in there. Okay, so let me just try that. I've made myself a backing track. I'm going to play with a looper. This is in 12/8, of course. So I'm going to start the track and try to find my way through these changes just with C minor pentatonic. So you see that most of that works, apart from that section where it goes into that, that 2-5-1 minor. Probably could have, just played in that section a little more, a bit more sparsely, so to speak. So sometimes, not playing is good. Just if there are sections that you don't know what's going on, just play one note. Okay, so. So now let's analyze what's going on, really, because I can play in that first C7, I can play a blues lick, okay? But then in that B minor, E7, A minor, B minor 7/5, E7, A minor, that's a 2-5-1 in A minor. So I either play like a jazz lick, so to speak, or I actually just shift to A minor pentatonic. Let's see how that works, because obviously I'm going to A minor, so let's see how that feels. Yeah, that's better. That feels already, just with a pentatonic, that feels already better. Okay, so obviously, the next step would be to spell out the chord. So B F diminished, and then A7 or A minor. Sorry, that first B minor 7/5 wasn't right. So you can find your way and try to target some of these notes. That's a phrase that I made up with those arpeggios, okay? And obviously, the next step is just to learn a 2-5-1 in minor, like. That's just a 2-5-1 in minor, okay? So I'm going to try that now. I'm going to try and add the slightly more, playing the changes, so to speak. Okay, so I've added now a little bit more detail. What happens now, I'm going to G minor, C7, F7. So it's a 2-5-1, what a jazzer would call a 2-5-1 to F7. So again, I have the same options now. I can play a pentatonic in C minor, or the pentatonic with the added ninth, with a substituted 9, basically. I'm substituting the root. I'm I'm substituting the root with the ninth. You know, you can use that, or even add in the ninth to that pentatonic, if that makes sense. That adds a little bit more flavor, so to speak. So, so let's try that. I'm going to play just pentatonics for now, just to see how it feels. So, C pentatonic, A minor pentatonic, and then G minor pentatonic when I get to that 2-5-1. A minor, G minor, okay, so when I get to F7, so I can play either a phrase that I know in F or F pentatonic. Okay, so I'm going to try and do that now. I'm going to play from C, A minor, G minor, F. A minor, and then I'm going to go to G minor, F. Okay. Next step, there's a diminished chord, obviously, so I need that diminished arpeggio. You know, if you browse through my website, you will find the shape of a diminished arpeggio. Oh, which I need to relearn, obviously. So you can add that to that. If you want to add that, and then we go back to C7. That would be the second to last bar on the second line, and then we go to A7. So now, pretty much the next 4 bars are going to be C, A, D, and G. I usually, when there's an isolated dominant chord, I want to try and spell out that chord. So what you need to do here is try to learn some phrases that fit certain chords. Let's say if I want to play D7 with this shape, so try to connect a shape to a chord shape to a phrase shape. So if I want that in G with that shape, it's the same phrase. Okay, so now we're going to try and stick that phrase. C, A, same thing, 3 frets down. Then I have D. It's the same phrase, but it fits this shape visually. Okay, I'm really talking in very practical terms here, okay? And then G7. So I'm going to try and play that when I get to that point. So again, I'm going to try and my pentatonic stuff, and then when I have isolated dominant chords, I'm going to try and play those phrases. So you see how well that works, because obviously I'm pretty much replicating what's going on in the chord shape that is basically just playing underneath me, okay, underneath me soloing. So this would be like a, step one before you try to connect the chords. You just go chord by chord, and you try to, to replicate that sound that you have, basically. So, and I've obviously, to play on the turnaround, you can just play a C blues lick that ends on a G. It's very common. C minor pentatonic blues lick that ends on a G. So any blues turnaround, you can get away with that. So again, this is a very practical guide on what to do in these situations. So again, let me try again to do this. I'm going to connect all those bits. Okay, hope this helped, so that you get a bit of an idea on what to do when there is a blues that is a bit more involved than just a blues, where you can, where you cannot get away with just playing C minor pentatonic over everything. Okay, again, if there are any questions or comments, just leave any comments below, and subscribe, share, do your thing. Take care.